Hello, it's Sonia here with The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today we are going to be making an ear warmer, and for this project I am going to be using my eye hook or 5.5 millimeter. Now with this project you could use a variety of hook sizes or yarn types. Again, I don't suggest fuzzy or furry or yarn with short color changes. I'm going to be using today for this project, this yarn is called Hayfield Spirit, and as you can tell it is multicolored, but the color changes are quite long because this is going to be a cable project. So I already have a braided cable ear warmer that's knit, and this is going to be the crochet version. So if you don't know how to knit, you can crochet one. So it looks similar, it will be slightly different, but with this one you can customize it and make it in a variety of yarns. So this is a number 5 yarn, it's a chunkier yarn, and you could also bump up a hook size if you like, or if you want to use finer yarn you can certainly do that. Now for this project I am going to be chaining 19, so you want to keep in mind your braided cables are going to be on each end. So if you're using let's say a smaller hook and slightly thinner yarn, figure out about how wide you want your, it's going to probably be about this wide, the finish it's probably about 4 inches, but figure out how long or how wide you would want it. And on each end you're going to have your braids, and your braids consist of 6 stitches. So when you're doing your stitch count, start off with 12 right away, and then in the middle it's just going to be simple double crochet, so then you just need to kind of fill in the gaps there. So I'm going to be chaining 19, so you can do my exact stitch count if you want. I'm using my eye hook or 5.5 millimeter. This hook's almost too small for this type of yarn, but I'm a tighter crocheter, so we're going to make it work. So I'm chaining 19, and this is worked in rows, and you can make it as long as you need to custom fit it to your head. Alright, I do indeed have 19 stitches. So your first row is just going to be a single crochet row. So you're going to want to work in the back bump of your chain. So I'm just turning my chain over and inserting my hook into the second back bump and working that single crochet. And I'm just going to continue to single crochet across. So if you have done we're doing cables, so they're using post stitches. So if you've done some post stitch work before, you shouldn't have too much trouble with this project. And I can post some links on introducing you to post stitches. So at the end of my row 1 I will have a total of 18 single crochet. Alright, so there is my first row there of my 18. And as you can see, even though this is multicolored yarn, like I still haven't gotten to the next color run yet. So normally I don't recommend multicolored yarn with cables, but because of this yarn, I think it's going to be fine. So we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. So this is the this is row 2. So all the even rows is going to be the right side. All the odd rows is the wrong side. Alright, so for row 2 we're just working double crochet across. So this chain 3 counts as a stitch, and we're just going to work in the second single crochet right there, working the double crochet. So at the end of my row 2 I am going to have 18 double crochet. So you just want to continue working your double crochet all the way across. Okay, I'm at my last stitch here, working my final double crochet. And there is my row 2. I have 18 double crochet. Alright, so now we're going to get ready for row 3. Row 3 is a wrong side row, so you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and we're just working single crochet across. So I chained 1 and I'm going to single crochet right in that same stitch. And just keep on going. And again, this is the wrong side. There is a right and wrong side for this ear warmer or headband. If you're using finer weight yarn, you could make a headband. And so here is my final chain 3, and you're going to want to work in that top of that chain 3, work your single crochet to complete row 3. So there we go. So far nothing exciting. These are our setup rows. So now we're going to get ready for row 4, which is the right side, and we're going to start our cabling. So you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. So for the remainder of the pattern, you will never work in the single crochets. Unless you're, for cabling, you're not going to be working in the single crochet. So when you do the cabling, you're only going to be working in your double crochet. So let's get started with the cabling here. So to start off with, we're going to yarn over twice. We're going to be working front post double crochet, or front post triple crochet. I'm sorry, not front post double, front post triple. So we're going to skip this stitch, and we're going to work in this one. So with cables, we always work in the double crochet, so don't worry about these singles. And we are going to work front post double crochet around that one, or front post triple crochet. I am so sorry, front post triple crochet. Yarn over twice. Again, we're going to work front post triple crochet in the next one. Okay, so now we need to go back and work in the 2 stitches that we skipped. So we're going to yarn over twice again, and we're going to work front post triple crochet, but we are going to work behind. So it's going to get a little tricky. You're actually going to be working around this chain 3 and then this double crochet. So working behind, I'm just going to kind of push these guys aside. I'm taking my hook, so I'm behind. So now you're going to have to wrap it around that chain 3. So it's kind of awkward, but it's not too bad. And you're going to work your front post triple crochet stitch around that chain 3. And your beginning rows are going to look a little messy, so don't panic and think, you know, this is not right, it looks horrible. When you're working cables in either knitting or crocheting, they can kind of look messy, especially in crochet. Like working cables, they're just like, what's happening? It's not looking good. So you have to get a couple rows under your belt, and then the pattern starts to show up. Alright, so we're yarning over twice, and we're going to go and work into the other stitch that we skipped, the other double crochet, again working behind. So just pushing them aside, and you can move them with your fingers. The nice thing with post stitches, they are very sturdy, so I'm working that stitch behind. So you can kind of just shove them to the side. It's not going to mess up your work. Alright, so now we're going to work front post triple crochet around these next 2 double crochet. So your cable stitch your braid is made up of 6 stitches. So I'm just working front post double crochet, or triple crochet. Why do I keep wanting, my brain is saying work front post double crochet, but it's triple crochet, and I'm going to work front post triple crochet around the next one. And the nice thing with this pattern is there are no back post stitches. I'm not a huge fan of back post. Alright, so there's the beginning of our braid. It looks weird. But we're getting started. Alright, so now we are going to double crochet in the next 6 stitches. And we'll be working in the single crochet. So just working double crochet in the next 6. So now if you're working a different stitch count, what you will do is you'll just work as many double crochet until you get to your last 6 stitches, because you're working your braid on both ends, and your braid consists of 6 stitches. So you could have as many double crochet in your middle here. It doesn't matter. You just need to have 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're ready to go. So now we are just going to work our braid. We started it here. We're going to work one on this side. So we're going to yarn over twice. And so we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to skip these 2 guys and work in these 2 guys. So working front post double crochet. Yep, oops, I don't know what happened there. Yeah, we're gonna do it. And as you can see, even though this yarn is multicolored, we still have not gotten to that color change yet, so I think it's going to be fine with the cables. I think it's going to be pretty, actually. Alright, so there is our first 2 front post triple crochet. We're going to yarn over twice. Now we're going to work behind and work these 2 guys. So again, working behind, going to this one, and I'm just pushing those guys to the side and working that front post triple crochet. And we'll do the other one. So see, I can just move it, it's quite alright. Get back there and work that front post triple crochet. And now we just go and work the 2 front post triple crochet in the last 2 stitches. Oh my word, why is that slipping? Probably because I should be using a slightly bigger hook with this yarn, but you know, it's gonna be okay. I don't know where my J hook is. It's floating around here somewhere. Alright, so we have completed row 4. We've started our braids. She's, you know, doesn't look like anything, looks kind of weird. But it's going to turn into something. Alright, so now we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and you're just going to work single crochet all the way across. And if you're having trouble finding where your stitches are, you can turn it this way so you're looking at the tops of your stitches, and then you can see where to work a little easier. So chain 1, turn, single crochet right in that same stitch, and just single crochet all the way across. Now some of these stitches, they get a little wonky, so just kind of need to straighten them out there, so you can, sometimes if you turn it the other way too, to kind of help you find. See, now we've straightened it out a little better. And then this guy can hide too. There's that last one because it's twisted. And there it is, stitch 18. And so that's row 5. And we're going to chain 1, turn our work. So now we are going to keep going with our braid. So we're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to work front post double crochet or triple crochet, oh my word, front post triple crochet around this guy. And the reason why we chain 1, it just gives you a little wiggle room there so that you can work the stitch. So I'm just going right in that one so we don't have to work behind or cross over anything yet. Yarn over twice, we're going to work in the next one. Okay, so now we're going to yarn over twice. We're going to skip these 2 guys here and then work front post triple crochet around these 2. And so now we need to go back and work in the 2 stitches that we skipped. So I'm just kind of spreading that apart, and there they are. They're hiding out back there, but there they are. So yarning over twice and working front post triple crochet around this first one. and front post triple crochet around the other one. Okay, so now we're starting to look a little more braid-like, and now I need to work my 6 double crochet in the middle here. You might have a different number. You just want to have your 6 stitches on the end. Okay, so now we're ready to work the next braid. So yarning over twice, working front post triple crochet around that first one. And front post triple crochet around the next one. And yarning over twice, so now we need to skip these guys here and go to the last 2 stitches, which technically they're not the last 2, they just look like it. So front post triple crochet around those guys. Now these that are chilling, they're hanging out, hiding, they are our last 2. So yarn over twice and make sure we work those. And now we're seeing some color changes for sure. Okay, so there we go. We are starting to look braid-like-ish. So now let's work, I believe this is row 7. And we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and you're just going to single crochet all the way across for row 7. So you can see I'm kind of spreading these out because they can be kind of hard, and again if you turn it this way you can see the tops of the stitches a little bit better. So you want to make sure you don't miss those guys. Alright, so then row 7 is complete, and row 7 is going to be the start of the repeat for the rest of the pattern. Alright, so we're going to chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to get ready for row 8. We're going to yarn over twice. We're going to skip these first 2 front post triple crochets, and we're going to work around these next guys. So I'm just pulling them out front and center, working that first one, front post triple crochet, and working the second one. And now we're going to go work behind again and work in these ones we skipped. So yarn over twice, working behind and making sure you get that first one. And work in the second one that we skipped, working behind, front post triple crochet, and now we're going to work in the last 2, and you'll definitely be able to see the braid a little bit better. So there we go, braid is starting to come out. Play there. Alright, so we're going to double crochet, and I'm working in my next 6. Your number might be different. Until I get to my last 6 stitches. Alright, so can see she's folding over, but we're gonna straighten her out there. Okay, so we are going to work our last braid here. So we're going to yarn over twice. We're going to skip these 2 stitches and work in these 2. So we're going to work our front post triple crochet around this guy. And front post triple crochet around that one. And now we need to work behind, so yarning over twice, putting our hook behind, and grabbing that front post triple crochet, and working our front post triple crochet around the previous one. And then we just need to work around these last 2 guys. Okay, and then row 8 is complete, so now you can definitely see the braids popping out. Alright, so now we're going to do row 9. So chain 1, turn our work, and I'm going to single crochet in that first stitch and just work my single crochet row here. You can see I'm just kind of finding those stitches. And see, they're getting lost for me. See, these 2 here, they kind of like to sag down. So I'm just kind of pulling that back up so that I can find them a whole lot easier. So just a little trick there if you're having trouble finding those. And there they are. There we go. All right. So row 9 is complete, and we're going to chain 1 and turn. Let's work row 10. So row 10, we're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to work front post triple crochet around this first stitch. So these rows are a little easier. Row 10's easier because you don't need to work behind. And no crossing over, anything like that. Alright, for the start. So we worked those, so we're going to yarn over twice. We're going to skip these 2 guys here that are hiding and work 2 front post triple crochet around the next 2. And now we need to go back and work front post triple crochet around these 2 that we skipped. And we are going to double crochet. I'm going to double crochet in my next 6 here. And now I am back to my second set of braids. I'm going to yarn over twice, and we're working right in that first front post triple crochet, working front post triple crochet. So yarning over twice again, we're going to skip these two guys, the middle ones, and work in the last two. So front post triple crochet, front post triple crochet, and yarn over twice. So front post triple crochet, and we're not working behind. I didn't really state that, but hopefully you could figure that out. We're just working in front. So no crossing over, or you are crossing over, no working behind and crossing over at the same time. So working in the next one, the front post triple crochet. And there is your repeat. So what you're going to want to do is repeat rows 7 through 10 for however long. Actually, when it's getting close to however long you would want it so it fits comfortably around your head, you're actually going to want to end on, I think it looks nicer if you end on a row 8. And then we're just going to join our ends here to create our little ear warmer here. So I'm going to keep going, working as many rows as I need. So again, repeating rows 7 through 10, but you want to end on a row 8. Right, so I will meet you back when my ear warmer is long enough. All right, so I have worked enough rows here on my braided ear warmer here. So I worked 56 rows. You might need to work more, you might need to work less. And I did end on a row 4. And I'm really loving this colorway. It's got a little longer color run, so the cables aren't really being hidden. And I love this yarn. This yarn was gifted to me, and I just think it's going to be a great ear warmer to wear this winter when I have to shovel, because I will. All right, so now we need to turn this guy into a circle. And we don't need to sew it. Now, if you want to, you could sew it, but I'm not going to do that. I try to avoid sewing as much as I can. So here what we're going to do to connect these guys is I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn, and you're going to want to have the wrong side facing you. So obviously this is the wrong side, and you're going to bring, come on, focus. There we go. We're focused. All right, so this is our last row. So this was row 56 for me, and then this is my first row, row 1. And the reason why we worked in the back bump is so that the ends look the same. So here is the ends of my chain there, and then here are the ends of my last row. So what we're going to do is we're just going to slip stitch these guys together, and it works. It looks pretty good on the other side. So I've chained 1, I've turned, I've got my wrong side facing, so that means your right sides are touching each other. And I'm going to insert my hook in that first stitch here in both loops, and then I'm going to insert my hook in both loops at the end of row 1, and I'm just going to yarn over and make a slip stitch through all those guys, and I'm going to repeat that across, and then at the end you will just cut your yarn. And to finish up your project, obviously you weave in your ends if you need to block, which I will gently block this guy a little bit. Needs a little bit of a bath because my dog loves this yarn because it's got a little bit of wool in it, and I think it can kind of smell that animalness, I guess, the animal fiber, and he's digging it, and he was like, I want this, and I'm like, nope, dude, it's mine. He does the same thing too. My daughter has these Ugg boots, and because it's got the wool inside the boots, he's always trying to take her boots, and drives her insane because, they're not cheap, and she really likes them, and he's always trying to get them, so we have to kind of hide the boots from him. So it looks like I have 3 stitches to go. There's my last stitch, and there's my last stitch. Oops, come on. Alright, so I have worked that, so I'm going to grab my scissors here. Gotta find them. My desk is a bit of a mess. You're not seeing the full picture. Alright, so I am finishing that guy up, and then what you can do is you turn it right side out. And there you go. So I don't think, I mean, definitely has a seam, but I don't think it looks too terrible there. And that part can just be worn in the back. But there you go, there's the ear warmer, and I'm actually like really loving this ear warmer. I'm claiming it for myself. I love the colors, I love this yarn, I just think it's great. I just have to hide it from, I think my daughter would want it, and I hide it from my dog. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and I thank you so much for watching.